Rest doesn't always feel peaceful to everyone. For some people, slowing down doesn't bring relief. It brings discomfort. Silence feels loud. Stillness feels unsafe. And doing nothing feels wrong. This is the psychology of people who don't know how to rest. Not because they don't want to, but because rest was never something they learned to trust. For many, rest wasn't modeled growing up. Life felt busy, unstable, emotionally demanding. There was always something to manage, something to think about, something that needed attention. So the nervous system adapted. Movement became safety. Productivity became control. Staying alert became normal. And over time, stillness began to feel unfamiliar. For these people, slowing down can trigger anxiety instead of calm. When there's nothing to focus on, their mind starts scanning. Did I forget something? Am I falling behind? Should I be doing more? Even rest becomes something to evaluate, something to earn, something to justify. So they stay busy, not always because they love being busy, but because being busy keeps uncomfortable thoughts quiet. For many, productivity became tied to worth. When they're doing something, they feel okay. When they're achieving, they feel grounded. When they're useful, they feel secure. But when they stop, there's a sudden drop, a sense of guilt, a sense of unease, a sense that they're wasting time or falling short, even when they're exhausted. Psychologically, this often comes from early environments where rest wasn't prioritized, where stress was constant, where emotional availability was limited, where staying functional mattered more than feeling okay. So the body learned, rest is optional. Pushing through is expected. Stopping is risky. And that belief follows them into adulthood. They may look high-functioning on the outside, reliable, driven, capable, but internally, they're tired, not just physically, emotionally, because the body was never taught how to truly power down. Even during breaks, the mind stays active, planning, replaying conversations, anticipating problems, preparing for what might go wrong. Rest becomes shallow. Sleep doesn't always feel refreshing. Days off don't feel restorative. Vacations feel strangely stressful. Because rest isn't just about stopping movement. It's about feeling safe enough to stop without consequence, without fear that something will fall apart if you pause, without the sense that the world needs you to carry it alone. And for people who don't know how to rest, that safety rarely came naturally. They were taught, directly or indirectly, that being alert, being productive, being responsible was non-negotiable. Even as adults, the body and mind continue to replay those lessons. The internal alert system doesn't turn off. It doesn't rest. It waits for the next problem, the next expectation, the next demand. Sometimes they recognize this pattern consciously. Sometimes it hides behind the habit of just doing what needs to be done. Either way, the cost is the same: emotional fatigue, subtle anxiety, and the sensation that peace is fleeting. But there is another layer to this psychology. Many of these people are deeply empathetic. They've been attuned to others' needs for so long that their own needs feel secondary. They sense when someone is struggling before being asked. They anticipate emotional shifts in a room. They prepare themselves to support, comfort, or intervene. And while this sensitivity is a gift, it comes with a hidden price. They rarely allow themselves to receive care in return. Their rest, the genuine, unguarded rest, is interrupted by the very awareness that made them strong. Even more, many of them overcompensate for their own need for rest by planning the rest of the world around them. They anticipate other people's schedules, moods, and energy levels. They become hyper-organized. They become problem solvers in every corner of life, not just out of habit, but because uncertainty is uncomfortable and predictability feels like safety. But what happens when control isn't possible? They feel a creeping anxiety, a physical tightness, a sense of looming responsibility. and even small breaks or interruptions can feel like a loss of stability. So what does healing look like for someone who doesn't know how to rest? It begins with permission. Permission to pause. Permission to let things unfold without your constant input. Permission to let the world continue while you simply exist. Permission to breathe. To slow down. To feel safe doing nothing. It also includes guidance from the body, learning to notice tension, learning to notice when the heart races, learning to notice when the mind is resisting quiet, and slowly, very slowly, trust begins to build. Rest isn't laziness. It isn't failure. It isn't a flaw. It is a practice, a muscle, something that can be learned, nurtured, and strengthened. And with time, rest becomes restorative. The mind quiets. The body releases tension. The heart allows peace to exist without conditions. For those who grew up believing that stillness was risky, this process can feel unfamiliar. But every moment spent in calm builds trust in the body, the mind, and the world. It may start with tiny breaks, a few minutes of breathing, a short walk without purpose, a cup of tea without thinking about what comes next, then longer. Restful moments expand. Stillness becomes a sanctuary instead of a threat, because being able to rest is not a luxury. It is a form of self-preservation, a reclaiming of what was once unsafe. And the truth is this: you are allowed to rest. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to exist without constant effort. Your worth does not depend on productivity. Your value does not depend on doing everything. Your strength does not require constant vigilance. Slowly, gently, without guilt, you can learn to rest. You can learn to let go. You can learn to simply be. And in that stillness, you will finally find peace, safety, and the quiet power that comes from simply existing.